Nokia is joining the phablet fray with the Nokia Lumia 1520, a new device to AT&T with some great specs under the hood. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com, and let's unbox Nokia's newest supersized device. Another big tablet phone or phablet or tablet device, whatever you want to call it. It's a smartphone, but it's a big one at that, is in the PhoneDog offices. It's the Nokia Lumia 1520, an exclusive to AT&T, a Nokia device, Windows Phone 8, and a big 6-inch display as well. Thanks to Nokia for providing us with a review unit. And just to talk really quickly about specifications here, this thing brings a lot to not only the Windows Phone 8 table, but the overall conversation around these larger devices. With a 6-inch display that's 1080 by 1920 pixels, so 1080p, 367 ppi. The Lumia 1520 has a 2.2 gigahertz quad-core CPU, Snapdragon 800 CPU, 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. It's got a 20 megapixel camera on the back, and of course I'm pointing at the box and talking about the back of the device, but you get where I'm going with this. It's Monday. I haven't had a lot of coffee. You know how it is. Big 3,400 milliamp hour battery as well. 2 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of internal storage. And this is what the box looks like. A little bit different from previous AT&T boxes. It pulls out just like that. Easy. And then, of course, package contents up top. Lumia 1520 USB charger, charging and data cable, SIM door key, and quick start guide. Special thanks to our partners at Best Buy Mobile as well. They give us devices like the Lumia 1520 for use in our free giveaway game on PhoneDog.com. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working, so whether it's this or the Lumia 920 or the 1020 or whatever device you opt to buy, they'll make sure your email, your web, your camera settings, your phone settings, and more are all good to go. So when you walk out the door, you're set up thanks to Best Buy Mobile. So instruction manual out of the box, upgrade your camera application. Scan here to install this free upgrade now. Nokia Lumia 1520, SIM door key, as you can see right there. We're going to keep diving in here to see what you get out of the box. More instruction manuals. What do you want to learn more about? Well, I want to learn more about everything. Product and safety information, AT&T logo up top. And then down here you got your USB cable, AC adapter module, and that's about all you get out of the box on the device. Available in a couple different colors. I've got the white version here, a nice matte back, and of course instructions here on the back of the unit itself. I'll peel those off, because we know what we're doing around these parts, and I'll pull this off as well to expose that 20 megapixel camera, and we'll take a look at that initially in the unboxing and more in the full review. So while this is powering up, I'm going to show you something Nokia sent over as well. Thanks to them for this too, the Nokia Lumia 1520 protective cover. So we'll take this off and take a look. Red, one of my favorite, actually green's my favorite color if you really want to know, but red is one of my favorite phone case colors or device colors, and I'm glad to have this. Add some color to the device. I'm trying to make sure I don't cover up the startup animation sequence, because I know you guys love some startup animation sequence. And so we'll go ahead and put this thing on here in just a second, but not before we talk about the overall device itself. You've got a volume rocker over here on the right side. You've got your power button over here on the right side as well. Camera shortcut button up top, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack at the bottom. You've got a USB adapter, a micro USB charging port, and then speakers on the back. And the camera does jut out just a little bit, kind of like the Lumia, not as bad rather as the Lumia 1020, but kind of like the 925, at least in overall look and feel. This device feels great in the hand. I like the matte back a lot. It's a big phone though. Compare this to something like, for example, the Galaxy Note 3, which I happen to have over on my desk. Just to give you a size comparison between the two, it's a big device. It's definitely tall. It's about as tall as the HTC One Max, which I also have laying on the desk. You can see the overall size difference between these two. A little bit maybe wider. Let's take a look and put them side by side. About the same size, honestly, although the HTC One is curved on the sides, making it maybe a little bit easier to hold in the hand. But still a nice 6-inch display here, but still keeping in mind I can't wrap my fingers fully around the device. Not saying that's a deal breaker, but it's just a big phone. And that may be something you love or something you hate. You can see the live tiles here as well. Nice big space for all of your live tiles to customize the way you want to. And of course Windows Phone 8 is running on this device, and out of the box you get the typical AT&T stuff: address book, family map, address book, that's how you pronounce it, address book, family map, locker, navigator, radio. You got some Bing stuff here as well: finance, news, sports and weather. And then you've got down here your typical stuff: camera, that Microsoft integration as well with Xbox games. You've got Hulu Plus. Then you've got some Nokia stuff here: Here Drive, Here Maps. Scrolling down, you can see AT&T Mobile TV, My AT&T, and then you've got a bunch of Nokia stuff as well. Now, previous to the acquisition of Nokia by Microsoft, Nokia had to distinguish themselves in the Windows Phone 8 space because they were hedging all of their bets on Windows Phone 8. So they distinguished themselves with some great applications, including the Here suite of applications, things like Nokia ProCam, Nokia Creative Studio, Nokia Screen Beamer, Storyteller, and more, and all of those are pre-installed. We'll take a look at Storyteller more in the full review, along with the Nokia ProCam, because I really do enjoy the application. I think it's a great value add to Nokia's Windows Phone 8 devices. Microsoft Office here as well. You've got, of course, Outlook integration as you would expect, Zyklon, Vimeo, Wallet, Weather, YP Mobile, and Zinio all out of the box. But really a huge 6-inch 1080p HD display here to play around with on the device itself. Nice and big, so great for content consumption. You watch a lot of YouTube videos or you take pictures on a regular basis, it's going to look great on a big 6-inch display. So just showing you this down here, and you'll notice the AT&T logo up there in the top right-hand corner as well. Really nice for taking pictures, huge 6-inch display to do a lot with, and of course you've got some buttons down at the bottom that are capacitive, back, home, and of course your search button, which will take you to Bing search as well. But really cool here, and you can customize these. Let's take a look at the customization differences here. 1, 2, 3, a couple different options, and you've got a couple of different options depending on the application, obviously, a couple of different ways to space these out and make them your own. So for example, I can make AT&T, I can put it over here if I want to, or over to the side, and I can bring this over, switch them around, move that down here, we'll move all these individual ones. So you still have that nice customization element, but now with a 6-inch display to make it all the bigger and all the better, if you will. So photos, we'll go ahead and bring this down here and just play around with it so you can see, make this your own. Still have the color options as you've had in previous update versions of Windows Phone 8. I've got it set to Cobalt right now, but we can change this, for example, to something like Olive, and I can come back out here. So obviously still very much a Windows Phone 8 experience. It's unlike the Galaxy Note 3 in the fact that you don't really get a whole lot. The screen size is increased, but it's still very much a Windows Phone 8 experience. You look at something, for example, like the Galaxy Note 3, where you get the addition of the S Pen, you get some additional software value adds. Kind of the same with the HTC One Max here. I feel like this is, at least at first glance, still reviewing it, so bear with me, but at first glance, very much like a turbocharged and supersized Windows Phone device. So that's great in a lot of different ways, but if you're looking for something, more maybe coming with this, outside of course, having a quad-core processor and Windows Phone 8 and a 6-inch 1080p HD display, it's up to date on the spec side, but from a software experience, a very similar experience to what you would get from something like the Nokia Lumia 1020. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for something that's like, hey, I got a 6-inch display, what does this have that the the Nokia Lumia 1020 doesn't have? Still kind of about the same experience from a Windows Phone 8 standpoint. So if you like Windows Phone 8, that's awesome. If you don't like Windows Phone 8, then it may not be the device for you. One thing I'm really excited about, though, the big 3,400 milliamp hour battery in this device. Really excited to put that to the test and see how it performs in day-to-day use. And of course, yeah, we'll go ahead and do recommended. And we'll take a look at phonedog.com. AT&T LTE running. I do not want to share my location. AT&T 4G LTE running, phonedog.com loading up. So you can see a nice big 6-inch display, how it's going to look when browsing the web. And of course, portrait to landscape transitions, nice and fast here. And you can see phonedog.com loaded up right there. Pinch to zoom, nice and responsive. Does not come out as well as I'd like it to come out on this display, but you get the idea. Phonedog.com right there. CNN, for example, here. And I can scroll up and down, and of course, I've got access to messages as well, and you can take a look and see what those look like on the display here. So really nice device all around. Nice to have Windows Phone 8 up in the phablet space. Gives Windows Phone 8 or gives people rather an alternative to other devices, the Note 3, the One Max, the Sony Xperia Z Ultra. Nice to have a Windows Phone 8 alternative here. And you can see with this case, pretty cool little case here. It reminds me of the flip covers and reminds me of accessories you can get with the Apple iPad as well. Like that, very nice. Red looks cool. Nice to customize it, and of course with the case you'll notice the camera bulge goes away as well. So looking forward to putting this thing to the test in the full video review, so keep it locked on phonedog.com. I'm on Twitter at phonedog_Aaron. Let me know what you want to see covered in the full review of the Nokia Lumia 1520. Really a nice device all around. Excited to play around with this, put it to the test, and see how it performs, because this phablet market is getting bigger and bigger. More and more people want devices that are this size for content consumption. Perhaps they can't see and want something with a bigger display for that purpose. A lot of different use cases for a device with a 6-inch display. Keep it locked on phonedog.com for more on the Lumia 1520 and all of its included accessories and included goodies. And as always, I'll see you next time.